Welcome to the Bedroom to Boardroom podcast with me, Noel Reeves. The podcast aimed to build a community for small to medium-sized business owners to help and encourage people to do the best they can. Today I'm joined by Francesca from Future Cloud Accounting. Francesca, hello.
Hello, thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome.
Very exciting.
Fran, I've been following you for quite a long time on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I really admire what you've done in terms of getting out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and just making a really good effort.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get you in today, so thank you for coming, to talk about comfort zones and what can be achieved by getting outside of them. Most humans kind of want to protect themselves and don't show too much vulnerability because we're taught to be strong and alpha and do your best, don't let people know if you're upset. But actually the reality is that's not a great way to grow.
No.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about when you started showing that vulnerability?
I started a lot longer than Future Cloud was born, to be honest, and I think it's a long process. So when people see you shout about a business, they assume you've just got lucky, but it's actually the work you do behind the scenes to start something. And I did a lot of that when my kids were little, and just going back to studying at 26, that was massive out of my comfort zone because I was in wrong relationships. I didn't have much confidence, to be honest. And when I became a single parent of two, I thought, what am I actually going to do in my life? Instead of wallowing and being safe at home, staying at home mum, I want to work. I want to better myself. So I started in 2011 with my whole new outlook on life and thought, it's not going to land on my lap. I don't want tax credits anymore. What are you going to do about it? And funny enough, I actually thought, what does everyone need? I know, an accountant. And I also thought, but they're not like me. And I thought, well, that's even better because I'm good at talking to people. And that is literally how it started. And that's when I went back to studying, and it took me 3 years to graduate. But the focus was there and I knew what I wanted and I didn't stop. And that was out my comfort zone, go back to studying with kids as well. But I actually loved it and I was actually good at it. I was that person at college that was told to do it a week earlier so I could help the others with what it looks like. Because I loved helping others achieve it as well. Does that make sense? So I enjoyed studying a lot, and that was the best thing I ever did.
So being an accountant wasn't a dream of yours. You just thought, what have I got? What can I do?
Yeah.
What do other people need?
Yeah.
How can you satisfy?
Yeah. Wasn't at school. I thought, God, if someone said at school, do you want to be an accountant? I'd be like, no way. Boring. As if, I swear. But actually, I thought, I love businesses.
Did you get any advice from anyone that you knew about that?
No, I don't think I did.
No.
But I did a lot of research and stuff. I liked reading books and motivational type stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that positive mindset. I did a lot of that for myself, and I had to keep myself on the low. So what I did was stop going out with my friends, saved all my money because I thought, right, I want to buy my own house, but how do I do it? And I didn't know when it would happen. But funny enough, I was renting a house. And the landlord said to me, she said, not to worry you because you've been a brilliant tenant, but I'm going to sell this house. So just to let you know. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I thought, you know what, I'll speak to the bank and see what I can come up with. The way I could do it was I knew what I had in my savings. And there was actually a really easy way of doing it. So I thought, you know what, I borrowed I think it was 81,000. I thought, I'm doing it. I'm buying my own house. And it all came together. And I was still on tax credits at the time. But I was that good at saving because I was willing to do whatever it takes. And I remember getting the keys to my house, and it was honestly the best feeling in the world that I managed to do that for me and the kids.
Did you ever doubt yourself about that?
I don't remember doubting myself. I remember doubting myself with studying and passing exams. I put a lot of effort in because I wanted to pass. There was no time to fail, so I had to put a lot of effort in. I remember putting a lot of pressure on myself, but I did it. And with the house as well, I thought, can I do this? And if you really want something, you'll do it. I really believe in that. Yeah, that was out of my comfort zone, obviously, because it's a big mortgage. But actually, the mortgage was cheaper than my rent. I remember it was like £400. I just thought, this is brilliant. Why is not more people doing this or being guided on this?
Yeah. So fast forward a bit. You've gone through college. You've graduated.
Yeah.
And you've got yourself a job.
Yeah, so I got my dream job in a practice. That took me 2 attempts. Okay. And I was not taking no for an answer, obviously. And someone that worked there, I said, just get my foot in the door. Let me speak to the directors, because I thought I can do this. Let them see how much I want it. And I did do that, and I got the job. But I worked there very anxiously because I wasn't professional with the way I was as a person. So I found it really uncomfortable. So even the directors calling me down, I was a nervous wreck. I thought, this ain't right. This can't be right. But just keep going, because everyone else must be doing this, or everyone else, it's just me. Everyone else can get away with it. So I thought, there's something wrong with me. But I actually just carried on, because I wanted it so much. Then I got hold of cloud accounting. And that's when my mind started thinking, people can do it on their phones. And then I was thinking the type of people I'd like to work with. So I was plotting and planning, but not really knowing if it was ever going to happen, because it's that confidence thing. Because it was a safe job. And actually, where I worked, they were like well known. So I felt like, God, can I do this? But I was doing all the right things, networking. Networking is the best thing I ever did, even though that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I did the breakfast meeting at 7 a.m. I'd pack the kids off overnight. That's how much I wanted to show up. But I still, when I think back, I think, God, I was so consistent. Why did I do it?
Yeah.
But I loved people, and I loved finding out about their business and why they did it, and got the ideas and stuff. So that network then helped me start my own business. I ended up running my own social event where I met my business partner, because she came to my event.
Right.
So I asked her for some help on a limited company, told her my ideas, and she was like, yeah, this sounds great, sort of thing, because she just started doing her own little thing, but she was employed. So I was like, let's do it together and let's go for it. And I want it like this, informal tops, and we're going to do it in like this way, and I want to try this. And then that's when my LinkedIn journey started as well.
So I think the first time I saw you, you were still employed, and I think you were doing videos from the front seat of your car.
Yeah, I did. I started to, God, I was so nervous doing them videos, and no one will believe me, because I come across so confident with it. I was shaking, and I don't know if you're like that on video.
Yeah, well, I said it to you this morning when we came in, is I sort of thrive off that nervous energy. And it might not come across like that, but I overthink stuff, I get anxiety. All of those things that everyone has, right? But it's you just don't let it stop you from doing it.
No,
because you know that once you go and you start and we're having a conversation, it starts to be more relaxed and
and it flows, doesn't it?
It just flows, and that's when all the good stuff happens.
Yeah, it's interesting how your mind can. So what I've realised is that energy is a good thing. I perform my best when I've got the adrenaline. I get nervous before, so I've always deep down wanted to do speaking events. But I thought someone like me wouldn't be able to.
What do you mean, someone like you?
Exactly. What do I mean? Because I'm not
a human who knows what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Who can actually speak and articulate words.
Yeah, because I'm not professional.
But what does
I didn't I didn't start off at uni. I didn't go get married, then have kids. I did everything backwards and forwards and round in circles. So to me, it was like, who's going to listen to me? But I still then thought, actually, what I've been doing is inspiring, because then you post about it, people give you the confidence when they comment, because you don't get all the likes and comments on day one, as you know. But people like you to do it for consistently, because they think, well, she's making sense now. Takes her 6 months, doesn't matter. They don't like the one-hit wonders because they're not consistent with it. So I just stuck to what I needed to do on there, and I liked sharing the journey, and it was therapeutic. I spoke a lot about my pent-up frustrations in business. Through social media, which then helped others. And I didn't actually care if it got me a client or not, which is weird, but that is what you should think, to do that.
Definitely.
In a weird way. I know it sounds crazy, and I probably have got clients looking, what's she saying that for? But then again, does it really matter? Because most of the time they're thinking, I wish I could speak like that and just say my truth.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt there's a person in the world who hasn't regretted not saying something. Yeah. And I'm sure people regret saying something too in certain situations.
Oh yeah, I have, and it's awful.
But having that strength to actually say it how it is, and what you're talking about is, things that are stressing you out or worrying you, or how you're feeling about something. Yeah. They're very real things. And you mentioned about not being professional, but actually, what does professional mean?
Exactly.
I think for me, professionally is being able to talk about something confidently, and having a passion for it, and you're just doing the right thing. I think that formal side of professional, shirt and tie and all that sort of stuff, it's not really that important.
But the professional people are always silent and whisper and keep things to themselves, whereas I'm an open book. I can't I need to I want to tell everybody everything, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
If I want to, I put lots in my diary as well. I'm so open with where I am, what I'm doing personally.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the best way to be, so people trust you.
Do you get people commenting on that you share too much?
I remember my ex-boss saying to me, just be careful on your LinkedIn, oversharing too much. But he's older and he obviously didn't really do LinkedIn. And that's when I thought, actually, no, I'm going to carry on. I don't know why, but I thought, no, I'm on the right page here. But he did say, be careful. Definitely have people say it. They don't say it to your face, though, do they?
No. No, I just didn't know if someone, because sometimes people when they start businesses, there'll be people around them who will say, "Oh, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't
definitely
give up your job. You've got a good secure job there, and you're in a good practice with career path and all that sort of stuff."
Yeah.
I imagine there's not very many people that go and do what you've done rather than stay on that train and just ride it through.
Well, someone said, just ask for a pay rise. And I thought, God, if I have to ask for a pay rise, there's something wrong here. But I did. I asked for the pay rise and I got the pay rise. It wasn't masses or anything like that. But it wasn't long after that I left still. So it wasn't about the pay rise. No, I had the urgency. I needed to do this. And I've been planning it in my head for a lot longer than when I left.
Yeah.
But it was the right time.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah, we won't talk about
That's another story.
So comfort zones. So what's the scariest thing you've done?
There's a few,
okay,
actually. And one of them is learning to swim as an adult. So I had a bit of an accident as a kid. And I think that's just struck in me where I went underwater and I felt like I was out of control.
Yeah.
So I always put it off. I didn't really do it at school. And one of my clients said to me, do tough mudder with us. And I was like, okay, is it full of water and heights? He was like, no, it's just mud. To get me on board, obviously. Then when I looked into it a couple of months before, I had a heart-stopping moment when I thought, there's more water than mud. What am I going to do? Then I thought, should I just... So I spoke to somebody and they said, my sister's a swimming teacher. I was like, go on then, I'll do this. I can do this. So I learned to swim like 6 weeks before, just so I can get my head underwater. Not an actual full-on swimming. But I did tough mudder. And then funny enough, I carried on swimming for a year. And then lockdown happened and carried it on after that as well, just so I could do the technique because I wanted to do it professionally. So it was all technically right, and the breathing. And you know what? The breathing did help me with my normal fitness as well and calming me down because I'm quite hyper, if you don't know that already. So that was a scary thing. But the other thing is I've increased my fitness now and doing fitness competitions.
Yeah, I've seen.
And I've always wanted to do that deep down, but pretended I didn't. Tell yourself you don't. No, that's not for you.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a good thing to do. So I started upping my training with my running. And then me and my partner do fitness events together, which is really nice. I've always wanted to do that with somebody.
Couples who train together.
Stay together. So I started the first fitness competition. It's called High Rocks, by the way, if anyone knows.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it at the when I've been there doing jobs.
Yeah, and we travel all over, and Steve's got a bit of a following on Instagram from it now, and we both have. So the people are replying to us of what we're doing and following our journey of like improving on that. So the competitions are scary because people are watching you, and I'm very vulnerable doing it, but I like to do my best, so I put a lot of effort in. And the last one we did, because I knew I wanted a PB, honestly, the whole weekend it was torture because I was getting myself ready for it, and we've got a massive PB because we wanted it so much. We're very similar, which makes it better. Yeah. Because I think, why bother doing it if you're not going to do your absolute best? Yeah. But yeah, we smashed it. Honestly, it was the best feeling when we got that PB. Best feeling.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
So what made that scary for you though? So you're active, you're fit, you do your training all the time. So from someone from the outside, I would think that would be a relatively easy thing for you to do. I get the swimming with tough mudder, totally, because that's definitely a mindset thing.
It is,
the high rocks thing. Yeah. Like why was that scary for you?
I don't know, actually. I think it's the fear of what people watching you, because it's a event that people watch. Yeah. What if I
don't care what other people think, though, do you?
Less.
Less.
I don't think anyone can say that. Yeah. I cared a lot in my 20s about what others thought, but I care less. But I definitely have my moments that I'm like, yeah, what are they going to, say? But I'm a lot better. But I'll still do it anyway. So the thing is... That's the thing, isn't it? It's being brave. Yes. I'll still do it uncomfortably, but then it gets easier. So that probably was the fear of what others would think during it as well. Or what if, I don't know, I don't do a good time. And what I've never learned with training as well, that in your sessions for training, that's where you should be the most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not in the actual race. Some sessions I'm nearly crying. I'm thinking, this is horrendous. My heart rate's high, but you've got to push through that and get comfortable with your heart rate being high. Try it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Get a heart rate monitor, because that's
Yeah.
a new way of training.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, something like that, high rocks.
I think it'd be right up your street, definitely.
Yeah, I've done Tough Mudder. Maybe I should give it a go.
Yeah, there's a lot of like influencers doing high rocks. I think who's just signed up. Don't know if you heard of Gethin Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he recognised me and Steve because he follows Steve's Instagram.
Oh, cool.
So that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
And there's some influencers that I've been following for years on Instagram that I met because they joined high rocks, and I was like, this is my calling.
Yeah.
You know, when you just visualise people you want to meet in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all the steps to get there, sort of thing. So it's quite good, yeah.
That's fun. I always try to get people to think about comfort zones.
Yeah.
Like for my team that I work with, to say, do something that scares you.
Yeah.
Because that, honestly, the result from it, even if it just makes you feel good, the feeling you'll get internally,
it's amazing.
doesn't matter what the actual thing is that you're going to achieve.
Yeah.
And years ago, I sort of said, I thought, I'm going to practice what I preach. What's going to scare me? And it was to do a skydive. And I've always said, and I was in Dubai a few years ago, and I was laying on my sun lounger and looking up, and I can see these people coming down. And I thought, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that, but I couldn't do that. And then we were talking about this comfort zone thing at work, and I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna do that. Like, I can't do that, but I'm gonna do it.
Brilliant.
And so I did. I signed up for it, and then it was actually pre-COVID, and then holiday got cancelled and everything else. So
but you're slightly glad.
Right, yeah, I was really glad. I was like, oh, thank God, I haven't got to do that now.
Yeah.
But then after a few years later, we rebooked that holiday and we went again, and I thought, right, I'm going to do it. And I think given that time that I had to think about it and process it, I was just at one with it. I was like,
brilliant.
I know I'm going to be scared, but I'm going to do it. And so I booked it, and I told everyone about it.
Yeah.
Because the more
accountability, that's
the
best
exactly,
thing you should do. Yeah.
I tell everyone that I'm doing it, because then
Yeah.
if I don't do it, I've gone straight back on that.
Yeah.
So I did it, and then in the morning, then we got there in the morning of it. I was supposed to be there at 7:30, and my alarm didn't go off, and my wife woke me up. She goes, "It's 7 o'clock." I was like, "Oh no!"
So you didn't have time to think.
So straight away, I thought, I can get out of this. Slept in, and I thought, no effing chance of doing that. No way. So I literally got up, threw my clothes on, ran down, got a taxi to the thing, and I didn't have time to think. And once you get there, you kind of go through, get weighed, watch a briefing, and then we got, and the guy who I was jumping with, he says, right, we're going business class today, last on, first off. And I thought, oh man. So we got on this little plane, fly out, and then the lights change, or the door comes up, and you're literally just sat there.
No, I can't.
And the lights go, from like red, amber, green, and he's like, right, you ready? I'm like,
yeah.
But at the time, I feel like I'd overthought it so much. I was actually it was like it was surreal. It was almost like I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, because I bet you'd already mentally done it.
Yeah, I tried not to like watch videos and stuff like that, but in my head, I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm gonna go to 13,000 feet, and I'm gonna jump out of an aeroplane.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just fate. And then it was amazing.
No thanks.
And I was like, I would definitely do it again. But I think I will do it again when my kids are old enough to do it, and I'll do it with them.
Because my daughter did it. I encouraged her to.
Yeah.
But I would never. It's not something I've ever looked and gone, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
It's a thing of, I don't want to do it.
There's a difference, right? Not wanting to do it, and because there's the one not wanting to. If that doesn't interest you, I've no interest in jumping up.
Yeah.
That's kind of fine.
Yeah.
But if you think, I would love to do that, but I couldn't.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's the bit you need to
overcome.
100%.
Right?
That's the mindset, and that's the thing about it. And to be fair, I felt great after it, and like I landed, and I was just like buzzing, adrenaline, and then the rest of the day I was just
on a high.
I was just like knocked out. So I think the adrenaline had just exhausted me.
Yeah.
I just got back and just and looked up then and saw the people doing it again. And I was just like, but that for me was kind of a massive thing. But also setting up my current business, doing that off the back of my last business failing. That self-doubt and thinking, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, well, yes,
it's funny how you said business failing as well. When something changed, we say it is a failure, but it's not, is it?
Yeah, well, Yeah, I do look at it as a failure.
Yeah.
But I think to me it was a failure of me not being prepared.
Yeah,
failure of me
that's
not surrounding myself with the right people.
Yeah.
It was all of that, really.
Yeah. Is that before Rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so this is a
definitely
long
that.
time ago
Yeah.
now. Yeah. But I didn't really know, I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
I didn't have, I knew what I was doing in terms of the job,
Yeah.
but the running a business bit, I definitely didn't have.
Yeah.
And so that's why now I try to surround myself with lots of people. It's people who are better than me, people who have been on the path that have done more, who have achieved the things either I want to achieve or more.
Yeah.
And what can I learn from them? How do they behave? How do they look at situations? What do they do? And then also surround yourself with people from different types of skill sets.
Yeah.
Like accountancy, super handy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's so true.
Just to help you, because and I said it before, business is super lonely.
Oh God,
but
it is so
you've got a business partner though, so
like,
for me, I don't have that, so
Yeah.
I'm on my own. And as much as I share with people and I'm really open with my team, sometimes I do feel quite lonely.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And like I'm involved in a few kind of groups about networking. I don't really do those networking things. I probably should do more of it.
Yeah.
But I am involved in like a CEO group, which is really good. It's about 13 people in it. And
That's a nice number, isn't
people
it?
come in and out, and we go for dinner once a quarter.
That's
and
good.
we talk about stuff. And that to me has helped me to think, oh, actually, I've got a voice.
Yeah.
And I've got an opinion that people respect and listen to.
Yeah.
And I can help someone else.
Yeah.
And to me, the first time I went to that, I was so... I thought, well, I don't know. What am I going to do? I'm just this little guy.
Yeah.
Like I thought I'm going there to learn. I'm not going there to really contribute. I'm going to take, not give.
Yeah. But actually,
yeah, I feel like now I'd like to think that I do give. And I
better
really
than
enjoy
you
that.
think. And when you meet others, that's why I surround myself with people. You think, well, actually, I am on par with you, but for different reasons. So then you need to do it to see.
Yeah.
To give you that confidence that actually, I bet you had loads to say when you got there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I went thinking, someone was talking about something. I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
To me, that solution is so easy. Like
that is so true.
How do you not see that? But then you realise that everyone is, no one's perfect. Right?
Exactly.
We've all got different skill sets.
So I like the sound of this group. Is it just male only, or
no, of course not. No, we've got some females. Yeah, I'll
let me
see
know.
if I can bring you in.
Yeah, we'll have to apply.
We'll have to go through the a process.
The secret handshake.
Yeah, it's not quite that. So you've got a business partner, Charlotte.
Yep.
How does that dynamic work then?
So basically, Charlotte's the internals, I'm the externals. I'm the face of it. If just to keep it as simple as it can be, that is literally it. We're literally opposite, and that's probably why it works.
Yeah, Charlotte does more though now, doesn't she? You're definitely rubbing off on her.
Yeah.
In terms of doing
more on social media and stuff that I've been saying for ages. So watch this space on that one. Yeah.
If you were to give some advice to somebody who's setting up a business,
network, get people around you, be open and honest, be vulnerable, talk to people, get ideas, read books.
Yeah.
But don't just read a book, you've got to take action.
Yeah.
People can read all the books in the world and they'll say they read this and they're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Some people just like to take that knowledge, but I think you've got to take action with it, and don't be afraid of losing people as well, and actually think about who makes you happy, genuinely happy, because I had to lose quite a few people to start the business, and you also realise who your friends aren't, which is really sad to say. So I'd say also be brave and definitely post on social media, because personal branding is going to be massive.
Yeah.
I think that's where all the celebrities are. They're going to be influencers.
Yeah.
Because the kids are looking at people on YouTube and TikTok and they're famous to them, which is really interesting, isn't it? How it's changed.
Yeah.
Not someone off Coronation Street anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's how I've been focusing.
What about, just go back to something else that I want to ask you about. Obviously, you've got 2 children. How have they've sort of, followed that journey? They've been quite young, probably when you started going to college, and to where you are now.
Yeah.
Do they ever give you that feedback?
Honestly, like my son's amazing. So I don't know if you know he had cancer at 6.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get upset. Seeing him grow, because he's 14 now, and he said to me the other day in the car, he said, because I'm busy all the time.
Yeah.
And he actually said to me, he says, you know what, Mum? He said, you've brought me up really well, haven't you? I was like, what do you mean? He says, I go round to my friend's house and I can just see you because I'm strict. I do put discipline in place and boundaries. He says, I like your boundaries. And I was like, that's really nice. And it's what he said to me in the car that came from nowhere that meant so much to me, because I do question myself as a parent. I do think, because I always used to think that the mum had to be at home with the children. And actually, why can't it be that if you have a baby with a man, you can either both go to careers, or the woman goes for the career, if that's okay too. And I thought, I want to be that parent that wants to work and provide off my own money, and that's what I achieved. Like, the day I stopped tax credits was the best feeling in the world. It's like 2020, I think it was. That was my vision, probably years before that happened. But when he said that in the car, it made me think, yeah, I am doing the right thing. And Bella and Luca are very opposite in their way. So Luca is a little bit more entrepreneurial, cheeky chappy, and Bella is a little bit more the safe. She's gone into a job. She does an apprenticeship now. She's turned 18. God, it's mental, really, to be honest. But she passed her driving test, right? And she passed it 2 weeks after her 17th birthday. And I think that is with this determination in her to get it done.
Yeah.
She just knew that she needed to pass that test. And I think, actually, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's great. Like,
yeah.
And that's all you can hope for, right? As a parent, you want to be able to inspire your children, empower them to make good decisions, and to encourage them to do the best they can in whatever that is that they do. And like you say, if she's determined to do that, then what else will she be determined to do in the future?
Exactly. And I don't talk to them like friends, you know. I don't want to do that, but they do know. I say, I'm really stressed out today. I've just had a really tough day at work. So I'm very honest, but I don't want to blurt out all my problems.
Yeah.
So I think you've just got to be honest with your kids. Say, I'm going to be starting this really exciting business, and I want you to help me and ask any questions along the way. And I did all that, so they know what my pathway is, and that's where your boundaries can be in. And as a parent as well, don't overthink your decisions, because the mum guilt is real. It's not going anywhere. Ride it, because it's whatever you do, you're going to get that guilt feeling.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're super proud of you.
Yeah, I hope so. Even now, you still question yourself, don't you?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, but I think it's the moment you stop questioning yourself, then you become a bit egotistical, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
then it's like, well, I know I'm the best.
Yeah.
No one else's opinion matters.
Yeah, I'm never like that.
Thing. Of course. And I'm sure most successful people are not like that.
Yeah.
Because you do care.
Yeah.
What other people, how you impact on other people. Well, not necessarily what other people think of you.
Yeah.
But certainly how, if you're trying to do something that's trying to help other people.
Yeah.
Then you want them to look at that and think, oh yeah, that is helping me, or I can see, and I'll recommend someone else listens to that because that was useful. You mentioned about books. So do you have a book recommendation?
So the one that sticks out to me that I read in 2019 was Chimp Paradox, and I bet you've heard of that one.
Yeah, I've read that, yes.
And that really stood out. That was literally, I think, the month I started the business. I thought, I'm going to read some of these books because your chimp needs to shut the hell up. Because I still get it now, and I have to but you need to read a book over and over, again. Don't just read a book and forget about it years later. Read it again, because it's the same with content on social media. You can see an amazing quote, but you forget about it so easily. So you need to keep repetitive stuff. So definitely read the Chimp Paradox if you've got something on your shoulder going, don't do it. Yeah. And then that helped me. And then you sent me Traction. Yeah. Which is a really good years ago, which was an amazing book to read.
Yeah. I like Traction. I think it's a good way of setting systems, and when you're looking to try and grow a business, to get those key foundations in place.
Yeah, definitely. Because that isn't my strong point, systems.
No, me neither.
I'm like, system?
Yeah.
Let me just get on with it. But actually, I'm not daft either, and like you, after so long, you need a system, but you just don't want to implement it yourself. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. You feel like you have to do everything yourself, that's stupid. You need someone that's better than you at that, bring them in. Yeah, absolutely. And invest. But people keep saying to me, I need to do it myself, Yeah. I just can't. No. So some people aren't honest with themselves with that. Yeah. And that will help you massively in business. Yeah, Traction's good for that, because it sets out, you've got a visionary. Yeah. And then you're the integrator. Yeah. So for you, that's you, and then Charlotte being the integrator. Yeah. And if you haven't got a business partner, hire the integrator. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't. There doesn't need to be owners. Yes. But just having someone who can take that physical, the ideas part. Yeah. And make it happen. Yeah. Put the system in place, or systems in place to 100% to make that happen.
Francesca,
Oh, yes.
thank you very much
thank
for
you.
your time. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy listening to.
I hope so.
So, but yeah, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I look forward
appreciate
to
that. And you.
watching your journey continue to grow.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.